What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm super excited to give you guys my review of the Unheardof Adidas Adistar Cushion 3 in this pork chop Piggy runner colorway. This is the latest collaboration between Cincinnati-based boutique Unheardof with Adidas. But this marks the first time that the two have collaborated on this Adistar Cushion 3 silhouette, which originally was a model from 2005, but it's been brought back to be more of a lifestyle casual use sneaker. So this pair released on March 29th, and they retailed for $185 US, which is roughly 275 Canadian dollars converted. The official colorway for this shoe is clear pink and semi-collegiate red, and the nickname of this shoe, Pork Chop Piggy Runners, this actually pays homage to a few different things. First off, the founder and owner of Unheardof, Phil Lipschitz. This is a story about his childhood and how he grew up with not a lot of money, and he was teased and given the nickname Pork Chop growing up. So in a sense, this shoe represents those that were misunderstood, that were picked on growing up, but were able to push through those barriers and realize success in their lives. At the same time, Cincinnati's nickname is actually Porkopolis, so this shoe also pays homage to Unheardof's home city. So this pair is limited to only 1,500 pairs, and a lot of the pairs were sold early on March 28th as they hosted a friends and family event, and the remaining pairs were heavily sold in store to show love back to the city of Cincinnati. And they actually dropped a more limited friends and family colorway, which was a blue color with pink stripes. This was only limited to 1,000 pairs, and I believe those were only available in store and at the event. They weren't available online, at least from what I could see. So first things first, here's a quick look at the packaging. And as you can see, the box is a special edition box and has a heavy Valentine's Day theme to it, given that these were actually supposed to release months back, but they were delayed, and then the release was pushed and pivoted to become more of a Valentine's Day release, but that was also delayed, which explains why these look like a Valentine's Day shoe, but they didn't drop till the end of March. So as you can see, the outer lid, we have an image of Pork Chop, Unheardof's unofficial mascot, which I guess represents Phil himself. And then on the back, it looks like a Valentine's Day card, the ones that you used to give out when you were a kid. And the inner box, we have a very unique label with the name of the shoe, the style code, the color and the size, and we have a graphic of Pork Chop on the sides. Inside the box, we have Pork Chop's eyes along with all these repeating hearts. And then the shoe is packed with a lot of extras, which I thought was incredible. So first off, they come with a plush version of Pork Chop. He's actually wearing an Unheardof jersey and he has Adidas armbands and a headband. They also come with these pink Unheardof wristbands with Pork Chop and Unheardof branding embroidered in the center. It also comes with a pink headband as well. Two different keychains, one that has Unheardof branding and the words oink oink, and another one with Unheardof and a graphic of Pork Chop. There's a set of Valentine's Day cards, what looks to be a Pork Chop air freshener, and a large Unheardof and Pork Chop sticker. So as for the shoe itself, diving right into the details, you'll see how the base layer of the sneaker is constructed out of a pink open style mesh. Overlaid on the front toe box, we have this darker pink suede with this deep red colored detailing, and then we have more of that pink suede covering the sides of the toe box as well. In the middle, we have the Adidas 3 stripes. This is a layer of suede, but the actual 3 stripes is crafted out of faux pony hair, giving it more of a pig-like feel. The top 3 eyelets are covered in this circular TPU finish, with the second and third from the top being this bright red color. And then moving downwards, we have more of that open style mesh, along with more suede overlays. And on the bottom, just like we saw on the front toe box, we have this deeper red overlay, which has a bit of a rougher texture to the touch. Moving downwards, we have this V-shaped overlay of suede. And then next to this, we have this bright red colored detailing. And we have Adidas branding on the heel of the left foot, and Pork Chop's eyes embroidered on the right foot. As far as laces go, this pair comes with 2 different lace options. So the standard lace that they come with is an oval shaped lace in pink, but they also come with a deep, vivid red colored lace as well if you want to give the shoe a little bit more pop of color. Underneath this, the tongue is crafted out of that open style mesh. However, we have a large overlay of suede on the top. On the left foot, we have the Adidas trefoil logo embroidered in red, along with Adistar cushion branding done in this pale bluish sort of tone. On the left foot, Unheardof was actually able to convince Adidas to feature a graphic of Pork Chop. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is covered in this nylon-like material, and it's pretty well padded all throughout. For the insoles, these come with a foam-lined insole with custom graphics featuring Pork Chop and Adidas co-branding, and you'll see how the insole on the left foot differs from the insole on the right foot. So the upper of this shoe sits atop this foam midsole, which is painted in 2 tones of pink. I'm assuming this is some sort of EVA foam. However, it does feature Adiprene Plus technology on the forefoot, along with normal Adiprene on the heel. So Adiprene Plus is going to give you more of a springy, responsive feel, whereas Adiprene, the regular Adiprene, This is more in place to help with shock absorption. And you can also see this red hit on the midsole. This is actually Adidas's torsion system, so it's basically a hard or stiff TPU plate which originates from the midfoot and it wraps up and onto the midsole, giving you more stability and support. Finally, for the bottom, you'll see how the outsole also features custom graphics where the left foot and the right foot are different. Layered on top, we have this translucent rubber, so it allows you to see through it, making the graphic above it totally visible. On the heel, we have this repeating Adidas branding. You can see the Adidas foam right in the center of it. Along with this red hit, again, like I mentioned, this is Adidas's torsion system. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for those wondering about how these fit, so I got these in my true size, which in my case is a size 10. When I go to a shoe store, step on a Brannick device, I'm an actual size 10 in between a D and an E width. So I consider that to be slightly wide. So getting these in my true size, they actually fit me, but they're a little bit roomy. Not enough that I'd want to go half size down. But if you're someone that's kind of in between sizes, say you're like a true 8.25, then I'd probably recommend going down to the size 8. However, if let's say for example, you're consistently a size 9.5 across the board, I'd stick with the 9.5 for this pair. Yes, there's gonna be a little bit extra room in the toe box. I'd say about a thumb's width space between the top of the shoe and the top of my toe. But I don't feel like it's enough space that I'd wanna go half size down. But if possible, I'd try on another version of the Adistar Cushion 3 in store if possible, just to get a sense of how they fit your specific feet. Moving on to the comfort, so to my surprise, this shoe actually feels very firm underfoot. By utilizing Adidas and Adidas Plus, it's not a very soft plush feel, it's a much more supportive, responsive feel. So if you're expecting a very well-cushioned, very soft and pillowy sneaker, this is not gonna be for you. But if you want a shoe that feels quite responsive, it hugs your feet in the right places, especially underneath the heel, and you don't mind a little bit more of a firmer feeling shoe, then I think you'll really enjoy these. It's not uncomfortable, it's just not your traditional soft, pillowy feel. But for me at least, especially if I'm gonna be on my feet a lot, I don't mind a more firmer cushioning setup. That way I don't feel fatigue or pain in the arches of my feet. Finally, in terms of the quality and craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality I thought was really outstanding. Everything from the suedes on this shoe, this faux pony hair on the sides, it just really feels like an elevated, more premium version of the Adistar Cushion 3, which oftentimes utilizes a lot of synthetic materials. So this is a real, true, substantial upgrade over a normal GR. The build and craftsmanship of the shoe I thought was great as well. My pair didn't really have any noticeable flaws that I could see. The stitch job was good, the panels were consistently placed. So kudos to the Adidas factory and Unheardof for putting together a really special, elevated version of an otherwise GR model that doesn't really receive a ton of hype otherwise. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up, and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, even though we're like a month and a half past Valentine's Day, regardless, I think this is an absolute killer collaboration between Unheardof and Adidas. Not only does it have a lot of meaning behind it, with its ties to Phil on a personal level, as well as the city of Cincinnati, but the colorway is just a very fun, very creative colorway. And even though it's not necessarily a shoe I can see myself wearing that much, considering it's a pretty much all pink sneaker, I think this is a very special release. It's a pair that I'm really happy to have, especially for Adidas, where a silhouette like this I think looks great. It just doesn't receive the same level of hype as some of the other major brands and similar silhouettes that they offer. So leave your thoughts down below, let me know what do you guys think about this pork chop Piggy runner by Unheardof and Adidas. What are your overall thoughts on the execution of this collaboration? Obviously, I know there's a lot of complaints about how the release went down, but what are your thoughts on the shoe itself? Were you lucky enough to grab these for retail? Do you live in Cincinnati maybe and you were able to attend the event or line up for the actual release? Leave your thoughts down below and let's talk about it. And as usual, if you guys enjoy this review, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I'll link all my social media accounts, all that stuff down below for you guys to check out. And as always, appreciate your continued love and support, and I'll catch everybody in my next video.